The Seahawks are done, by the way. They're not playing anymore.
Unfortunately, yeah. I'm rooting for Tampa.
Yeah. Obviously, an excellent second half, by our guys. A big win for us. There's no question about it. St. Bonaventure, Coach Schmidt, and his staff and players did a great job in that first half, and were really competitive and came into a hostile environment. What a crowd! And played really good basketball. From our perspective, and the first half, we left a lot to be desired. I told the guys, coming out of halftime when we huddled up right before we took the court, we've actually got to give our fans something to cheer about. And I think we had one play, the entire first half, lob dunk to Zeb, that got the fans out of their seats, and that's not okay. We were taking questionable shots, not stopping and playing together. We weren't passing enough. We certainly weren't offensive rebounding, and part of that was a function of just taking some quick shots. And I think once our guys settled in, we came out of halftime and we were able to show them a little bit of film, at halftime, not a ton, but several clips. And, I think they got the message and began to play in a really competitive way. When we play offense the way that we played offense in the first half, we can't set our defense. There is no press in those situations. And, we just made some clear mistakes in that first half that bit us, and it was still close enough, at halftime, even though we didn't finish that last 3 minutes in a good way. Our guys still were enthused and confident in what they could do in the second half because we clearly hadn't played our best basketball, and the key was now we got to start playing, and our guys certainly did that coming out of halftime. That starting group really gave us a lift, tied it up quickly, and then it was on from there. And I think what you saw was cleaner offense, more passing, some shot making certainly, more aggressive defense. We were able to force some turnovers that led to some points for us, and all in all, we were able to put sustained pressure on them, throughout that second half.
Did you think this game was called looser than usual, and if so, is there anything to adjust to?
What do you mean looser? Like what?
Just
like not calling fouls, or?
Yeah, not fouls.
I mean, I think the first half we weren't very aggressive on defense. Like we had 3 fouls, going into halftime, I think, or something like that. And typically we'll pick up, some fouls. We will. We're always worried about getting them into the bonus because we play so aggressively. And I think it was just a function of poor offense and not allowing us to get our defense set to where we could put that pressure on them.
And Coach, what would you kind of say was the turning point there in the second half that really?
I think it was the start of the second half. Just our offense was better. We were able to, as soon as we scored, now they're having to face us, going full court. And, it changes the game. And then when we got in the half court, we still were able to defend and come up with some turnovers and, knock some balls loose, get them on their heels as best we could without leaking baskets at the rim. Luke certainly saved quite a few, when we got a little bit too aggressive or there was a guy that was loose, and, it was timely. All of it kind of worked together, and part of it was, something that we talked about at halftime is you can't do it alone. Like, we have to do this thing together. And I think what you saw was the offense, they played more together, and then defensively they certainly played together, and they gave the efforts necessary to win a tough basketball game.
It was Phillips' 4th game in the past less than a month where he's had 16 or more points.
Yeah.
4 threes. How have you seen his game evolve?
Yeah, I mean, he just gets going, like he's a competitor. And, he's best when the game's going like this, and, he's got really good teammates, that find him in situations. And certainly at the beginning of that half, he was confident in his J, and our guys found him.
22-5 fast break edge. Was the
transition game big and turning this game around in that second half too.
Yeah, no question about it. Some of us lost turnovers, and we were able to get out and run, and it can be a quick shot on the other end that can get our offense going. It can be a turnover that can get our offense going. It can be just a really good stop and a defensive rebound, and we're out. Like, there's a lot of different ways that our transition game can go, and I think over the last few games, we've begun to play a little bit faster, which is something that we certainly are focused on.
And Coach, Bonnie's had 4 guys over 39 minutes
Yeah.
in that game. Like, how do you, what is how do you?
If it's a slower game, it's to their advantage, right? Because it's hard to, it's not as hard to play 40 minutes when it's a slow possession game, and when it gets, when there's more possessions and you're having to face a press, the entire game, all right, it gets a little bit harder.
20 assists on your 26 made baskets
Mm-hmm.
tonight. What did you like about that ball movement, especially in the second
Yeah, I didn't like any of the ball movement in the first half. The second half, it was 9 assists and 2 turnovers at halftime, but that didn't tell all the story, right? We were taking some questionable shots, like I said before, and, not playing together. And, in the second half, I think you saw, the guys, really like doing what they've practiced and doing what they've been coached to do. Jack made a couple of threes. Well, those were a function of the ball moving around, right? And all of a sudden he's wide open and he's ready, to knock it in. And so I think, it's something that's really important to our team.
They made the comparison of seeing Jack's confidence rise to Kalani last year, which you have too in the past. What have you seen in these last few games for him that's really clicked?
I haven't. Yeah, like I've said before, I haven't really worried about his jump shot. I think, obviously you're going to have some times where, some sections of the season where you're not, making shots. And, I think our team in general, like we've shot it under, and we've underperformed overall from 3 for me. And I think for our guys, they would look at it and say, yeah, we haven't shot the ball great, this season overall. And, but they're in that gym every day, getting shots up. And so if we can combine it, eventually it really gets going, and we have the defense that we have, it's going to be, we'll be a tough team to beat.
Luke Seller on defense again, 4 blocks and only 2 fouls.
He's elite at it. Yeah.
How do you help him with that discipline in getting that block to foul ratio where you want it to be?
Yeah, I think, he's playing against older guys. Every game that he plays, he's playing against an older player. It's rare that he's matched up. Like, he's had 2 straight, right? And I don't even remember who the other game was before that, but like 2 straight, like veteran centers, that he played against. And, he just does a great job. He fits in with the team. He's obviously very athletic, and he uses that athleticism. And we're able to help him when his man catches the ball near the basket, and with our traps and that. But he learns. He's a guy that every day is seeking film. He's seeking help from his coaches and his teammates, and he's just doing a really good job.
With a more senior heavy team like you have, is it less worrisome when you go on the road like you have to now beginning of next week to avoid a first half like you had tonight?
I don't know that I really would connect the two, but I think we do have a veteran team. I think for us, we've just got to be ready every game. And I think our guys are. That was a game where we felt like we didn't play well. We didn't play our defense up at St. Bonaventure. We played pretty well offensively up there, but they didn't really see our defense up there, and they really only saw it for a half, this game. And I think we just got to be more consistent, overall. That's going to be the message to our guys tomorrow. It's like, yeah, we're excited that we, fought our way out of a hole, but at the same time, like we need to be more consistent. To your point, we do have veterans, that are out there, on a regular basis, and we've got to trust those guys, but I do believe these guys think and believe it doesn't matter where we play, we can win. Right? We have a good team, and we feel like we can win on any court. And sometimes it's going to be 14,000 cheering against us, and sometimes it's going to be, 8,000 or whatever we have in here cheering for us. And what happens in between those lines is up to us. And that's something that we're focused on.
Joe didn't score in the first half and then had 18 in the second half. He also led you in assists.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. No turnovers.
Yeah. How much does his kind of even keel mentality help the rest
He's
of the
really playing good ball right now. Like he's settled in, to what he needs to do. And, I'm really proud of how he's playing.
Do one or two more.
It's a very frenetic start to the game, a lot of aggression. How did you guys work to slow that down and kind of control the pace there?
I think early on they were getting the best of us, right? And so we were probably the team on our heels, at that point. And they had 9 offensive rebounds, in the first half, and we weren't blocking out. Ball's going over our head. We're trapping their center, and giving up a layup. We were doing things that were uncharacteristic, and I think once we got to halftime and were able to kind of chill and chat with the guys, they were ready to go back out and play our game.
You alluded to the atmosphere already earlier. That's a good point to end on. How much did that help you guys in the second
It was
half?
huge, right? I think, my point was we have to give them something to cheer about. All right, you can't, play the way that we were playing, all right, and expect our fans to just do it for us, right? We have to play, and then they will get up. And, I think that's what you saw in the second half. It was a kind of a crescendo there, and our guys had a lot to do with it. And our fans were incredible, tonight, and we need them every night. We're really lucky, with what we have.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Coach.
Hey, Coach, who's your NFL team?
NFL, I guess we just go with the Commanders.